Hey everybody, welcome back to Frank Conversations. My name is Zoe. This is a channel where we talk about global politics, local politics, anything that really affects us as Black people, as Africans in Africa or outside of Africa. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and comment. This is Frank Conversations, so we like keeping the conversations going in the comment sections. Thank you so much once again for our subscribers and the people that keep commenting and liking the statuses, right? Today I wanted us to talk a little bit about BRICS, right? What is BRICS really? Why was it formed? Who formed it? How did South Africa get involved? Do we even benefit from this BRICS situation? If we are not, why are we not benefiting from it? Or if we are, how are we benefiting from it? Okay, so we're going to start from the beginning, like where the name originated, okay? So in 2001, Jim O'Neill, who was the asset manager the asset manager chairman at Goldman Sachs, was like, there are these four countries, right? These four countries, he kind of like predicted based on numbers and based on what was going on in the world at the time in 2001. He was like, Brazil, Russia, India, and China. These are the fastest growing economies in the world right now. And they are going to be the fastest growing economies, probably surpassing the West in the future, and man was right. That's why he was the chairman, the asset management chairperson of Goldman Sachs, because he had it. He hit it on the nail. Because 2024, those are the fastest growing economies in the world, right? So it happened in 2021, 2006. Now the leaders or people who were in charge of, I guess, finances, or the people who were dealing with economies from these four countries. Now we are not talking about South Africa just yet. In 2006, it was just the four founding countries, which was Brazil, Russia, India, and China. They met up in New York. How ironic. They met in New York in the US to have a discussion about this BRICS situation, And 2009, they had their first summit, right? And it just went up from there, right? It wasn't easy, but it kept going up. 2010, if we remember, Russia, Zuma was the president back then, right? Jacob Zuma was the president of South Africa back then. And Jacob Zuma and Russia, or Vladimir Putin, if we all know, or if we have read somewhere in history, that back when President Zuma was I don't know if he was, I'm just going to say he was the leader of the Mkhonto party, not party. He was Mkhonto wesizwe. He was the leader of Mkhonto wesizwe back then in the ANC, right? Russia was one of the biggest sponsors of armory, right? So obviously they have a relationship with Russia. Jacob Zuma has a relationship with Russia, or Vladimir Putin, if you want to put it to individual, relations, right? And Zuma was like, yo, man, this BRICS situation sounds like a good idea. We have like infinite resources. Like, we might not be popping like when it comes to the markets, we might not be popping when it comes to like the currency or whatever, but we have resources, and I think you guys will benefit from the resources, and I think we can benefit from what you guys offering in terms of infrastructure and everything else. So for whatever reason, those two, their relationship brought us into BRICS. And I want to say it with no fear. If it was any other president, I don't even think that we would have been into BRICS, because the relationship between Vladimir Putin and Jacob Zuma was, I think it was the foundation of the conversation that started about South Africa being part of BRICS. And that is my opinion. But 2010, we had been given the opportunity to join the BRICS, and we joined and we became the S in the BRICS. Okay, so that's basically how South Africa became part of BRICS. Now, 2024, 5 more countries joined BRICS, which are Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia, United Arab Emirates, and Saudi Arabia. And if you look at these countries closely, right, these countries are not just countries, they offer a lot. They offer a lot. And what they offered since the inception of their joining BRICS, which was in January, I think the 1st of January 2024, they had to make some real commitments. Like Saudi Arabia had to drop the petrodollar, right? Where it had to stop trading its oil with the dollar, the US dollar or the petrodollar, right? To trade it into a different currency, which is what one of the BRICS what BRICS wants to do, to eventually drop the dollar to trade in different local currencies, So basically that's what BRICS is, and that's where it formed, right? So what do they have? What is this BRICS? So basically what BRICS is based on is that it's based on equality, mutual respect, and consensus and non-interference of government and local government or your country's issues, right? Unlike the West. Remember, in the West, the countries that have the West as its partners, I'm saying partners like this because South Africa thinks that the West, not even South Africa, Africa thinks that the West are their partners. They're not their partners. They are like their sugar daddies. So, unlike the West, right, they can just pull the string and do whatever it is they want to do with the countries that they're partnering with, i.e. South Africa, i.e. Nigeria, and all these other countries, right, in Africa. So they decide on what the president or the leaders of those countries have to do. They decide what the markets are like. They manipulate things. They decide who goes, who's the president. They just decide everything for that particular country that they are partnering with, which is what the BRICS is trying to steer away from. That, listen, you kind of need to be an independent entity as a country. You need to be somebody or a country that has stature. Man, we have lost all kinds of stature in Africa. I mean, when it was the Queen of England's funeral or something like that, they put all our presidents in a bus and everybody else had a nice, Lamborghini car or whatever it was that they were taken to the funeral with. But all African presidents were just put in a bus, including Cyril Ramaphosa, the billionaire of Africa, in a bus to a funeral. You know how we go to funerals and those ones who don't want to drive their cars or those ones who don't have cars go in a bus. That's basically what happened to the presidents and leaders of Africa at the Queen of England's funeral, So the BRICS is trying to steer away from that. Like, no, man, you kind of have to have some kind of serity to your name, put some respect on your name, And that's basically what Africa hasn't been doing for a long time, but that's what they're trying to do now, And in 2024, we know that BRICS is actually richer than the G7. Okay. They're richer than the G7. Okay. And they account for 32% of the global GDP. And in 2024, BRICS accounted for 45% of the population of the world. Right. So the aim for the BRICS is to seek economic cooperation, right, amongst members or amongst member nations, and increase the economic and political standing in the world. Right. So generally what they're trying to do is, we are sovereign countries. So as sovereign countries, we can still support each other as sovereign countries, right? So if South Africa, for example, needs infrastructure, we know for a fact that China does that like this. If South Africa needs drones or armory, we know that, listen, Russia is like your man. You know what I mean? And so those kinds of relations make it easier for African or for countries to be independent, but have some kind of support from other countries. This is what the BRICS is about, right? To be an independent, but have the support from other countries. Let's look at what's going on right now in the Middle East, right? Iran literally just joined BRICS in January of 2024. And Iran has been in conflict with Israel for a long time, but as of recent, that's when they really upped their beef, right? So Russia and China said, we stand with Iran. And we don't just stand with Iran by our words. Listen, they built a whole nuclear plant there. And Iran is one of the countries now that can say, bring it on. We also have. Okay, bring it on. We also have. So it's like they are benefiting from being members of BRICS, because why not? If they are part of this organization that says, we will not let you astray, we will not leave you high and dry, and if you need to use our resources, use them. Because we know when we need something, we can always count on you, or we can always call you back and say, bro, we need A, B, C, D, and E, and you can come back to us and say, got you. You know, that's it. That's what BRICS is about. It's basically mutual respect and understanding and support, you know? And I must say that South Africa, as South African myself, I didn't understand what the BRICS was about, right? Until recent years, when we decided to like say, you know what, maybe let's get into geopolitics and see what this whole situation is about, or what's going on in the world, right? And we understood, and in fact, I kind of like understood that, oh, so Zuma was looking out for us, because no one, man, Ramaphosa would not have put us into BRICS. It would have never happened. It would have never, ever happened. Okay. And I think it was a blessing in disguise, right? I was one of the people back then who said, oh, no, do not bring cancel the nuclear deal. Okay. We're not doing that. Not today, devil. I was one of the people. But I had my reservations back then because of the corruption that was going on, or the corruption that was very much exaggerated in our eyes as the citizens of South Africa. So obviously you don't want some kind of deal coming through that's going to cost us millions and millions, or billions and billions, and only for it not to work, like Kusile and those other plants there that, you know, they're working today, tomorrow they're not working. Only one section is working and the other section is not working. You know what I mean? Because that's what we know from South Africa. So if we don't have anything, if we don't put money into something, then it's fine. Please don't waste any more money. I think that's where a lot of us were at until now in 2024, where we realized, man, maybe we could have, you know, looking back, maybe we could have had that situation, but also we don't know where we would have been, because a lot of our facilities are not working currently, you know. So maybe it was a blessing in disguise that we didn't actually have the nuclear deal. But BRICS is it's a nice organization, it's a good organization, and you know, it could benefit us. So now let's look at how can it benefit South Africa, right? Russia and China have already extended their hand for infrastructure. Just so you know, they already extended their hand, like, yo, we're here, you know, we can do this, we can like clear this land, like we can like, listen, we can build, we can give you guys whatever it is you need, you know. But because GNU, because Ramaphosa, because of all those other underlying factors that are currently going on in South Africa, we are unable to benefit from those kinds of situations. We are unable to take advantage of those situations, because no one wants. It's a complicated situation. We are part of BRICS, but we are not part of BRICS. If you understand what I'm saying, we are part of them, but we are not. We are part of them on paper, and we will attend the summits. But when it comes to them helping us, no. we can't do that because we are still controlled by Rupert and his friends and by the CIA. So we kind of like don't know where we stand. In fact, the government of South Africa knows exactly where we stand. As the citizens of South Africa don't know where we stand, because I myself don't understand. If we are part of BRICS, then why are they not like building? You know, if Iran can be part of BRICS in January and in September they can have like a fully functional nuclear situation going on there, and they can have like armory for days, you know, for years, for centuries. Why we've been there for what 14 years? What are we still doing? What are we still doing as South Africa? You know, so it's like we're there on paper. You know, like everything that's here in South Africa, we've got a great constitution, but it's a paper thing. It can never be a practical situation. Like that's how we deal with things in South Africa. We are not practical people. We are just like documents. We are signing people. We don't ever, you know, put anything into practicality, you know. So that's why we are here in South Africa. Another thing that South Africa could potentially benefit from BRICS is self-sufficiency, right? Those people, if you look at China and if you look at Russia, they have been under such heavy sanctions, right? But they were able to be self-sufficient, right? They for some reason they were able to like literally pierce through those sanctions. They were literally able to like pierce through anything that the West gave or just thought they were giving them to destroy them. Russia is one of the fastest growing economy today. They are under sanctions, heavy sanctions from the West, you know? And those are the things, those are the lessons that we can learn from Russia and China. You know, China came from poverty. In the 1940s, China was heavily stricken by drought and poverty. 2024, in the same lifetime, these people are like one of the fastest growing economies in the world, you know, and we can deal with those kinds of situations. And I'm always going to give like Iran and give an example of Iran, that Iran is benefiting so much from BRICS, so much from BRICS. And it's at a time where Iran actually needs that kind of support from friends or from, you know, brothers and from, you know, some kind of organization. And that organization happens to be BRICS. Right? So we could benefit like that from them. And we can also have like free or reasonable trade between these countries, right? And I remember when I used to stay in the States, right, in America, I used to buy from Shein, right? Years and years ago, buy from Shein, and shipping was free. I think it's still free to some extent, right? And I read somewhere that why does South Africa never have free shipping? Like, what is this? And somewhere I read it a very long time ago. It said something about the postal policies. If South Africa doesn't ask or doesn't implement some kind of postal agreement with the country, then the country is not just going to say, "Hey, friend, do you want free shipping?" No. It's some kind of agreement that they need to have. So South Africa never had those agreements or never had those conversations with countries like China and all of those things, because the people who are there, the people who are sitting there don't know that they need to have these agreements, because they don't know anything about geopolitics. They just know that they are there. They were once Minister of Education. Now they are Minister of International Relations. Now they are ministers of what, you know? So they don't know the policies. They don't know the things that are going on in the world and what these people should actually, what it is that you should actually do for as a Minister of International Relations to benefit your country, or to make certain things beneficial for your country. You know, they don't know these things. They don't. I honestly don't know. So that's why we will never have free shipping in South Africa until somebody actually exercises the benefits, the agreements that these parties have with each other. If you don't exercise them, it's there. That paper is there. It will remain dormant. It will remain dormant, and no one is going to bother you. If you don't know, they don't know. They're still benefiting from shipping anyways. You know, so it's us that are now going to suffer, the citizens who's going to keep, you know, paying all these taxes. And also with South Africa, because we are still under high colonization and high capital constraints, right? Places like I think Jet is closed in Edgar's, but those kinds of places, you know, your Mr. Prices, those kinds of places, right? They are angry because people are now buying from Shein and Temu, right? But and they're angry, and then what happens is that they tell the government of South Africa, because they know that no, the government of South Africa is works for us. You know, they go and tell them, yo man, you need to hike these taxes from these people, because these people are now going into China and bringing and buying things from China for themselves, and we are now losing money here because no one is buying from Mr. Price anymore, because there's no way I'm going to buy a jean of 400 go Mr. Price when I can get it go Timuk for 200, you know? So people are doing that now, and these people went to the government, and the government said, okay, we will hike the prices, okay, you know, we will hike the taxes and whatnot, and that's why these taxes got hiked. Not because of anything else, but because they went to those people and said, but we are still part of BRICS, né? And China is part of BRICS. See why I'm saying to you that South Africa is a BRICS member on paper. Because they were supposed to tell these people that, excuse me, what? Then decrease your prices. Then make your product a little bit more, you know, exciting for the people. Because none of these things in the stores are exciting, really. You know? But that's basically what it is, right? And what we could do is we could build gold refineries, right? And sell at a reasonable price to these countries. You know, right now, BRICS has got 10 members. And they are about to have like a BRICS Games summit, something now in October in Russia. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be more members signing up, because already there are people who had put, countries who put applications for it, right? So we will not lack, okay? We won't be stuck being like, oh my gosh, if we have our own gold refinery, who's going to buy our gold? There are so many countries that are going to join, that are already countries who want our stuff as South Africa, but we just keep giving them out for free and not benefiting from them. But if we are like active participants in BRICS, then you kind of like we become self-sufficient, man. We become those kinds of people that I'm not going to give you my bread for free. If I give you bread, you give me money. And by money, I don't mean 1 cent. I mean the value for the bread. You know, and that is another thing that South Africa is not doing. And you know, we can go on and on. The one thing I also wanted to say is that we can update softwares for SOEs like DENEL. Like, why are we still not making drones? Like, people are fighting with drones. Like, our soldiers are dying in Congo because like it's like a real man on the ground. No, people are fighting with drones. Why is DENEL not creating drones when the softwares or the what is this thing called? I'm missing the word right now. The technology. The technology is there. That Russia is like one of the best in military or yes, military guns and whatnot, manufacturing stuff. One of the best. Why are we not benefiting from it? Why are we still making planes? Good DENEL. You know, so we could benefit so much, but the problem of the country will remain the leadership puppets. Until we get rid of the leadership puppets, we will not. We will still be members of BRICS, Nigeria and Congo. Everybody will join BRICS and they will surpass us. Because all we do is talk. All we do is sign documents. All we do is sit and wait for those people to say, move left, move right, move left, move right. Because we are the puppets and they are the puppeteers. You know, so That's what BRICS is, man. It's a way out. BRICS is a way out for a lot of countries, and a lot of countries are seeing that BRICS is a way out. And we are not taking advantage of it as South Africans, as South Africa. We are not taking the full might of BRICS as South Africa. We should have been so far right now with BRICS. I mean, China is doing it right now. Look at all these the Chinese cars that are coming into South Africa. What is it? Omora. You know, Omara is doing the works. Like Cherry, they are using the agreements. They are actually participating, or they are acting on agreements signed. South Africa is not doing that. We will sign, and we will always get imports, because those people know what they're doing. Till now, we are out here making sure that the markets are not crazy. Oh my gosh, the markets. Oh my gosh, the markets. The markets have not done anything for us. You know, we are sitting here with debts. We are sitting here with people who just want to exploit us, including our own President Cyril Ramaphosa, and including his whole government, which is the government of national undertakers at this point. Because I feel like that's what they are. You know? So BRICS is a great organization, but until South Africa moves away or takes itself serious enough to say, we don't want puppet leaders, we don't want these people who don't want good for us, then we will forever be signing documents, agreements, and watching other people thrive and soar. And we will always be like, oh, we are part of BRICS. We are the S in BRICS. They can replace us with Saudi Arabia. It doesn't matter. Because those people are benefiting. We're not. So until we get to a point where South Africa becomes that country, you know, the bees we think we are, because right now we're not that girl we think we are. We're not. We are so delusional. We are delusional. You know, we're not. We're very delusional because we're not getting anything out of anything except, you know, the publicity at this point. So there's a lot to be gained from BRICS. There's a lot to be done. There's a lot of benefits. We are just sitting on it. And until we decide that, no, we also want to manufacture our own cars. No, we also want to manufacture our own stuff, our own drones, our own this, and the other. Those people are not going to say no. That's what they are there for. But we can't do those. We cannot have those conversations if our president is still reporting to the CIA, if our president is still reporting to Stellenbosch, if our president is still shaking hands or doing like the Dougie or I'm so old, the Dougie, or, you know, dancing around with the DA. We're not going anywhere. Not going absolutely nowhere because those people are still enjoying the fruits of their great grandparents' labor, which is us, our lives. We will work and work until our bones break because we are unable to emancipate ourselves. We are unable. We have a lifeline. We're not using it. We have a whole lifeline. Countries who just joined are like, oh, we're benefiting heavy from this. We don't. Because our president is still functioning under the, you know. So that's what the BRICS is. And maybe one day we'll benefit from it. Hopefully, one day. But let's just talk about it and let me know what you know about BRICS, and let's see how we can, you know, just pass out information and get people to understand where we are with global politics and how we can benefit as South Africa, because it's tough. But on that note, please do not forget to subscribe, please like, and please let's talk about this in the comments. and share the video, and know that we love you and we love South Africa, and we will keep fighting for this country because it is our motherland. There's nowhere else to go for us. We will keep fighting. And yeah, thank you for joining us. Peace.